Well, here's a video I didn't think I was going to be recording today, and for once it's a positive one because the Seattle Mariners, they got some good luck today. Some really good luck. Today was the MLB Draft lottery, for those unfamiliar. For years, it was based on record. For years before that, it was based on record, but then the AL and NL alternated who got the first overall pick. But now it's a lottery, and the top 6 picks are determined through ping pong balls. And the Seattle Mariners entered today with the second worst odds of any team that didn't make the playoffs at earning a top 6 pick. They had a 0.53, some places listed at 0.54, and I'm going to call it 0.54 because aren't we due for some good with that number? Aren't we due for some just good Tom Wilhelmsen 54 good luck? Well, they didn't get the first overall pick. They didn't get the second overall pick, but they do get the third overall pick. And it's a significant development for a lot of reasons. Number one, you pick third. The Nationals will pick first, the Angels will pick second, and then you're third. You have the chance to get the third best player on your board at very worst, a very good chance of getting the top player or the second best player on your board. That's huge. But there's also something huge that comes with it. I'm not going to go over the full scholastic how everything works here, but draft bonuses are not determined by how much money John Stanton wants to pay. And yeah, that's not how we do that anymore. How it's determined is there are actual slot funds that are determined for every pick. Every pick has a financial value assigned to it. You take those numbers, you add them for your first 10 rounds. Every pick you have in the 10 rounds gets added together, and that's how much money you have to sign the first 10 picks in your draft class. Rounds 11 through 20, you can give everyone a $100,000 bonus. Actually, I think it might be 125 now. Doesn't matter. And then you can go over if you have money left over after signing guys in the 10 rounds. I believe you can go without losing a draft pick, something like 110%. Again, those numbers aren't what matter, but it's important to let you know that this is not a boy, the Mariners are cheap when they sign a guy for a certain amount, right? It is based on actual values that are assigned through how many draft picks you have. Well, let's take a look at just last year. And these numbers always go up. They don't always go up a huge amount, but they go up. Last year, the number 3 overall pick was made by the Colorado Rockies, and the assigned slot bonus of that pick was $9,070,800. The Mariners were slated to pick 17th. That pick value last year was $4,534,100. That's double. That is double the amount of money you're going to get to spend now. And on top of that, the Mariners are also going to have a pick that comes between the first and the second round that is going to have an assigned value. I don't have it right in front of me, but I would guess $2.5 to $3 million, maybe higher. That's huge because let's take a look here. The 30th overall pick last year was 2.971. So yeah, 2.5, somewhere along those lines. Well, that's $12 million that's being assigned to you. And it allows you to take a guy very high, obviously, because you can't trade the pick because it's backwards. And I don't understand still why that there's no good reason that you can't trade assigned picks. They can trade that pick that was assigned to them for competitive balance reasons. That's dumb too. We'll go over that some other time. But that's 12 million assigned. You're going to be able to get huge impact players with those first 2 picks on top of what you get in the second round, third round, etc. The Mariners are going to have one of the biggest draft allocation bonuses of any team. Massive. Massive. For a team that, we have our qualms with the Seattle Mariners, you can't deny that they've been a very good drafting team. You cannot deny that. And now you're going to get a chance to add some impact players. And I know what you're all here for. You're all here to hear my take on Eduard Bizardo. No, you're all here because you want to hear some players that could be options with the number 3 pick. So I'm just going to give you, and I was thinking about saving this for Mile Y enthusiasts, and I just want to apologize. I'll have lots of great stuff for you Mile Y enthusiasts about the draft. You guys know that. And now that we have a high pick, and by we, I mean the Mariners, oh, we're going to do a ton of draft stuff. We're going to have tons of updates on the class. We have to. We have to. All right. So this is just starting the year. I have not seen the majority of these players live. I think I've probably only seen 2. But I talk to a lot of people. I will watch a lot of video. So these are my top 5 to enter the year. Number 1 is Ethan Holiday. Yes, he is the son of Matt. Yes, he is the brother of Jackson. And I think he might have more upside than Jackson. I don't know if he has more upside than Matt. Matt was really good. And so is Jackson. But I think Ethan has a chance to be even better. Mainly because that power is stupid. We're talking about plus. 6'4", 200 pounds, and he just generates so much loft and so much strength. He's got a chance to be a superstar. So does his brother. So does Bruh. And his dad was really good. But Ethan Holiday is number 1 on this list, and he's number 1 by a substantial margin. It's also worth pointing out he doesn't turn 18 until February 23rd. And here's a big caveat here. So much is going to change. So much will change. More than any other sport, the draft order or the order of prospects changes. More than any other sport, it's not even close. Number 2 is Jace LaViolette. And I think I said that wrong. Jace LaViolette. I think I just said a bunch of nonsense there. The calling card here as well is power. 70 grade. Hits from the left side. 6'6", 230 pounds for the University of Texas A&M. Texas A&M University. University of Texas A&M. I'm tired. I've been working since 4. And I'm really excited about this too. But on top of that, he has plus speed. He's got a good throwing arm. Probably limited to right field at some point because of his size. He might have to move to the corner infield spot. And obviously that would be first base because he's left-handed. But huge power potential. And if you're looking at someone who could make close to an immediate impact, I would say that would be your guy. That would be the guy that you are taking. Number 3 for me is pretty cool, is a local guy. It's Xavier Nyans, who is a third baseman at Mount Vernon High School in Washington. Left-handed hitter committed to Oregon State. Huge power potential. There are some big mashers in this draft class, and I think as Seattle Mariner fans, that probably excites us, right? 6'4", 200 pounds, has a cannon for an arm. Absolute howitzer, weapon grade type arm that you check in at the airport. On top of that, he's got a good hit tool. The length of the swing makes me think that he's probably not going to get to above average, but I think he could be average. Not a great athlete, not a guy who's going to post big-time run times. But in terms of just offensive upside, the only bat that matches him is Holiday. And you're not just taking a guy because of the local angle, but it would be cool to see a guy from a local high school get the pick too, right? So yeah, Xavier Nyans is number 3 on my board. At number 4, it would be Jamie Arnold. And yes, pitchers. And yes, left-handed pitchers. But this guy is that nice combination of ceiling and floor. He's been really good at Florida State. He doesn't turn 21 until the end of March, I think. Let me look at that. March 21st. That's close to the end. 6'1", 200-pound guy, plus fastball, plus slider, excellent command, developing change. It's real easy to see him being a fast track guy, that type of arm that could move very, very quickly. Of those 4 we're talking about, he would be probably the one I'd be the most disappointed if they took 3rd. But they've done such a good job at developing these type of arms too that I certainly wouldn't mind it. If the draft was held today, he would be 4th for me. But I do think that he would be a guy who would make sense. Tyler Bremner, is also a guy that I like a lot. More upside here. Double plus fastball, double plus change, plus slider, above average control. I'm not sure if he can hold up being a starter. Really, really good stuff. But I think probably more of a relief profile to me right now. Hasn't shown that he could start yet. So love the stuff. Decent size, 6'2", 190. I need to see it on a full-time basis. So he'd probably be tied for 4th with me. Didn't plan on having him 5th, but just looking at my list, I think he probably belongs in there. And then at number 5 for me, and I guess 6, would be Kason Cunningham. He's a shortstop out of Johnson, Texas. Not the biggest guy, 5'9", 170 pounds. But I see a swing that could be, I think it would be very surprising to me if he didn't hit for average. He controls the zone so well. It's this type of swing that you see from guys who very rarely strike out. He's an excellent athlete. He should have no problem sticking at shortstop. Young, doesn't turn 19 until June 25th. So, not like one of the very youngest players, but plenty young. You don't worry about taking a 20-year-old high school guy with a super high pick. Power is a little bit of a question mark, but I think he can get to average because there's enough strength in his wrists and enough bat speed here as well. But the type of guy who could be a well above average defensive shortstop while also hitting for average. That would be number 5, and I guess it's technically number 6 on my list. We'll call Bremner and Jamie Arnold a tie there. There's other guys that you have to take an eye on as well, or take an eye on. Please don't take an eye. Cruz Schoolcraft is a guy who's getting a lot of talk. Billy Carlson at both shortstop and as a pitcher. Seth Hernandez is a really intriguing pitcher. Big time fastball at a really good change as well. Been one of those guys who's been famous for a while, 6'4", 190-pound high school arm. Iva Arquette, a guy who I think can do a little bit of everything, that high floor type of guy. It's a good draft class. It's a nice time to have that 3rd overall pick because honestly, Holiday, LaViolette, and Nyans, in my opinion, and most people don't have Nyans that high. I just am infatuated with the pop. Infatuated. So those are my big 3. I'd be thrilled if the draft were held tomorrow and you got any of those 3. Thrilled. So this is great. And does it help the Mariners become a great team in 2025? No, but here's something I just thought of. It does make it a little easier to trade that draft pick that they were assigned now, because you do have that $9 million assigned to you with the 3rd overall pick. And sure, if you take a really, really good player, you're going to have to spend most of it. You may even have to go over slot, but you should have enough money with your other draft picks that you don't have to do that. Now, because you get the 3rd overall pick and because you get assigned that pick, you have a chance for a special draft class too. You have a chance because what happens is a lot of these guys, Nyans could slide all the way into that if the draft were held today because of the signing bonus. And I don't know his figures, but a lot of high school guys, he could be a guy who slides below the 1st round, and you have a chance to add a Jamie Arnold with a Nyans or a Nayans. I guess I should know how to pronounce his name for how much I like him, but he can really hit. That's what I really know about him. And the fact that it's a local guy is extra special. But it does make it a little easier for me to trade that pick. Are you guys excited about this? And it's fine if you're not overjoyed. I'm not overjoyed. If they got the 1st overall pick, I might be a little more excited, but this is huge. This is a great development for them. And what I was trying to say before I cut myself off, and that's what happens on a lot of these videos, is that draft pick has value. It's something you can trade and use as kind of a top prospect to go get someone. And it sure is easier for me to do that now. Instead of picking 17th, you pick 3rd. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Really appreciate the support. I think that's pretty cool. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video that was just rambling nonsense.